The phone vibrated on the table. Not loud, just enough to be noticed. Ethan glanced at it without really looking. Another late-night call. Another interruption. Another moment he told himself he'd deal with later. The screen lit up beside his laptop. Mom calling. He exhaled quietly. Not annoyed. Not angry. Just tired. His apartment was dim except for the glow of spreadsheets and half-finished presentations. Coffee cups formed a careless circle around his desk. His tie hung loose around his neck like it had given up hours ago. Outside, the city whispered, distant traffic, elevator hums, a neighbor laughing somewhere he didn't know. Ethan checked the time. 10:47 p.m. Too late for small talk. Too early for emergencies. His mother had a habit of calling late, always had. Sometimes to tell him about a show she liked. Sometimes to remind him to eat. Sometimes to ask if he remembered the name of a neighbor from 15 years ago. Good intentions. Bad timing. The phone vibrated again. He hovered his hand over it. Then he flipped it face down. "I'll call her tomorrow," he murmured, and went back to typing. Ethan used to believe time was something you spent later. Later, I'll visit. Later, I'll call. Later, I'll listen properly. Later had always felt endless. He wasn't a bad son. Just busy. At least, that's what he told himself. At 29, Ethan worked at one of the fastest-growing marketing firms in the city. He wore ambition like armor. He measured his days by deadlines instead of daylight. Promotions came faster than rest. Compliments replaced conversations. His life felt important even when it felt empty. His childhood home was 3 states away now, and his mother lived in it alone. His father had passed 5 years earlier, sudden heart failure on a quiet Tuesday morning while watering the lawn. Ethan had been in a meeting when the call came. He remembered stepping into the hallway, staring at the carpet pattern while the world rearranged itself in seconds. After he lost his father, his mother's voice changed. Not broken. Just softer. Like someone speaking from a room with no echo. She never remarried. Never moved. Never complained. She just kept calling. And Ethan kept answering, at first. Then less. Then only when it was convenient. Until convenience became habit. The project deadline loomed like a storm cloud. Ethan's screen blurred from hours of staring. The office had emptied long ago, but he'd brought the work home with him like always. His apartment smelled faintly of cold pizza and printer ink. His phone buzzed again. Face down. He sighed. Picked it up. Mom calling. He hesitated. He imagined her sitting in her recliner, TV murmuring in the background, phone held too tightly. He imagined the usual questions. Did you eat? Are you sleeping? Work still crazy? He didn't have the energy. Not tonight. He pressed ignore. The vibration stopped. Silence returned. For a moment, he felt relief. Then guilt tried to sneak in. He pushed it away. 5 minutes later, his phone buzzed again. Same name. Same light. Same choice. Ethan stared longer this time. He thought she's probably lonely. Then he thought I'm exhausted. Then he thought, I'll call her tomorrow morning. He declined the call again. The phone went quiet. This time, it stayed quiet. And Ethan didn't notice how loud that silence was. Earlier that evening, Margaret sat on the edge of her bed with her glasses sliding down her nose. The house felt too large when the sun went down. Too many empty rooms. Too many clocks. She held Ethan's old high school yearbook in her lap. She hadn't meant to open it. She was just dusting shelves when it slipped out. Now she was staring at a picture of her son at 17, crooked smile, too much hair, optimism leaking from every angle. She touched the page gently. Still handsome, she whispered. Her chest felt tight again. Not painful, just unfamiliar. She'd ignored it all day. She always ignored things. But tonight, the tightness came with memories. Her husband's laugh. Their kitchen table. Ethan racing down the stairs late for school. She reached for her phone. Not because something was wrong, but because something felt important. She dialed. It rang. No answer. She waited. Smiled to herself. He's working, she said aloud. She tried again 10 minutes later. A voicemail. Her smile faded a little. She sat back. The tightness returned. This time stronger. She stared at the ceiling fan, turning slowly like it had nowhere to go. She dialed again. And waited. Ethan fell asleep at his desk. When he woke, the room smelled stale. Morning light cut through his blinds like thin blades. His neck ached. His phone lay beside his keyboard. Face up now. He checked notifications lazily. Emails. Slack messages. Calendar alerts. Then he saw it. 3 missed calls, Mom. His stomach shifted. He frowned. She never called 3 times. Never. He unlocked his phone. No voicemail. No text. Just silence. He checked the time. 6:12 a.m. Too early. But something felt wrong. He called. Ring. 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 No answer. He tried again. A voicemail. Hey, Mom, it's me. I fell asleep last night. Call me back, okay? He hung up. Went to shower. Told himself not to overthink. But the water felt colder than usual. And the silence louder. At 9:37 a.m., there was a knock at Ethan's door. He wasn't expecting anyone. He opened it wearing socks and confusion. 2 people stood outside. A man in uniform. And a woman holding a clipboard. His brain stalled. Are you Ethan Carter? The officer asked gently. Yes. We need to speak with you. The hallway suddenly felt too narrow. What's this about? The woman glanced at the officer. He spoke. Your mother, Margaret Carter, was found this morning. Ethan's breath caught. Found. She collapsed in her home overnight. Neighbors called for a welfare check when they noticed her lights still on. The words felt unreal. Like bad acting in a movie he didn't recognize. She didn't make it, the officer said softly. Ethan's ears rang. His mouth opened. No sound came out. The clipboard woman handed him something he didn't read. The officer kept speaking, but the words blurred. All Ethan could hear was a memory replaying in his mind. Mom calling. Ignored. Mom calling. Ignored. The floor tilted. Ethan grabbed the door frame. The officer reached forward. Sir. Ethan whispered. She called me. 3 days later, Ethan stood inside his childhood home. Nothing had changed. And everything had. The smell of lavender cleaner still lived in the walls. Family photos watched him from every angle like witnesses. The couch held its familiar sag. But the house felt paused, as if time had stopped when she did. Ethan moved slowly. Every object felt like a sentence unfinished. He entered her bedroom. Her phone lay on the nightstand. He picked it up. His hands trembled. He unlocked it using her birthday, the code she never changed. Missed calls glowed on the screen. His name. Again. 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 He opened the last one. Voicemail finally downloaded. He pressed play. Her voice filled the room. Hi, sweetheart, it's Mom. Pause. I know it's late. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you. Another pause. I just couldn't sleep. A soft breath. I was thinking about when you were little, how you used to crawl into my bed when storms scared you. Her voice smiled. You always said, just stay until the thunder goes away. A silence. I guess I just wanted to hear your voice tonight. Her breath wavered. Work must be hard. I know you're busy building your life. I'm proud of you. Another pause. And I don't want to worry you, but my chest feels a little strange. Not painful, just strange. She laughed quietly. Probably nothing. Her voice softened. I love you, Ethan. If you get this, call me back, okay? I'd like to hear you before I sleep. The room collapsed around him. Ethan sank to the floor and sobbed like time had finally caught him. Regret is heavy. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just permanent. Ethan spent days sorting through her life. Clothes still warm with her scent. Notes she'd written to herself. Grocery lists. Birthday cards she never sent. And everywhere, reminders of him. Photos. School awards. Drawings from kindergarten. She had kept everything. One afternoon, he found a notebook on the kitchen counter. Inside, she'd written daily entries. Short ones. Mostly about him. Ethan sounded tired today. Ethan didn't answer, but I know he's okay. Maybe I call too much. The last entry read. He didn't answer tonight. That's okay. I just hope he knows I love him. Ethan closed the book and pressed it against his chest. Months passed, but the lesson stayed. Ethan quit the job that stole his voice. He moved slower. Listened longer. Called first. When his phone rang now, he never ignored it. Not because of fear, but because of understanding. Time isn't saved. It's spent. And attention is love in action. Every unanswered call is a choice. Every answered one is a gift. Sometimes people don't want solutions. They just want presence. And sometimes, the call you ignore is the goodbye you never get to hear. If your phone lights up tonight, pause. Look at the name. Answer. Because work can wait. Deadlines move. Life reschedules. But people don't. And love doesn't ring forever.